a lot of the hypocrisy went into it, and then we tarried, and we started putting everybody together, every sector. Come and talk about it. Raise your views. Let's know what you wanted. Let's know what why you are opposing it. Are they not different? Don't we have different tribes in Nigeria? Different tribes in Nigeria. Never that fact, are we not together? So who will now controvert it? Then what is going to be our problem by delaying it? So it's very different from the tax reform bills.
Talking about the tax reform bills,
Then
a lot of people are complaining. They are wondering how this is going to affect businesses, household, and other regions. So, what are the
anybody that is still complaining about that one means that that person has not availed himself or accept the opportunity of reading through. It's online. It's something you can Google or you can just go and fetch for online. It's something you can come to the National Assembly and ask for.
the laymen, the market women, most of them?
Yes, the thing is that the tax reform bills that have been presented and that has been passed have already exempted the low income earners. Anybody whose business is not up to 50 million naira in a year will not pay any tax. Even the government earners, they won't. They are exempted. So the tax is on those people that are making money from the system. So definitely, are we going to say that that one is not progressive enough? So that is for the common person in Nigeria. That yes, these tax reforms had already exempted them from the burden of tax. They are on perpetual tax holiday. It's not even holiday. It's tax freedom perpetually, so that the small scale and the medium scale businesses can grow in Nigeria. And that is where the economy lies in Nigeria among the masses. So definitely, if there's any bill or any reform that goes into law like that in Nigeria, I think everybody should hail it. So that is the way we can interpret it to the common person on the street. That it is very favorable to them, it's progressive, it has given them tax freedom, it makes them to grow without fearing that somebody will come and burden them with taxes. And again, it has put some taxes together so that you don't pay tax to the local government and the same tax to the state, and at the same time paying some say to the federal government. If you get to the garages, you get to the roads, you see some tax officers or rate officers on the road. So it has already streamlined all this, that once you pay tax in only one sphere, you don't pay tax again on other spheres, since we are running the same country. So are we going to say that that one is not progressive?
Okay, sir. You just got back from the Southwest Zonal Constitution.
Yes.
And there was a topic that was talked about which has to do with the creation of more states.
Yeah.
With the situation of things and our economy, do you think that Nigeria is strong enough, our economy is strong enough to support?
That is not the making of the National Assembly members. People will agitate, they make their demands. It's for us to accept what we have gone to do in our various geopolitical zones, all the 6 geopolitical zones. So is that we want to go and ask from our people, what do they want within the federation? Some people will say maybe state police, the creation of states, creation of more local government areas. Yes, we have to accept all those, put them together, then come back to Abuja, distill them, then open this up again to public hearing. So when we get to public hearing, all sectors will be involved. So that's where we are going to debate. It doesn't mean that if I have a demand as a community, either is going to be accepted or it's not going to be accepted. At the end of the day, I have to make my demand. That is democracy. That is choice. That is how democracy should run. That is how governance should run. It should open itself up for people to contribute, for people to make their demands. That's why they say the majority will have their way, the minority will have their say. So let everybody, as a minority, come in to have his or her own say. So by the time it comes to the majority, which the National Assembly will aggregate and then sit on. So by that time we know which states can make it or which states cannot make it. Then if it is not apt for us in Nigeria to create more states, then we will decide it. But it's not going to be the opinion, the, the partial opinion of the National Assembly to determine or to decide that yes, because governance, just to reduce the body of governance, so we are not going to create states. If it is very pertinent, if Nigerians want it, there's nothing we can do about that one. It is Nigerians. So they own their government, they own the system, and they own whatever fiscal responsibility that the system will take from the money that accrues to the general purse of the federation. So it is not in our own position to determine and to decide that on our own.
Now let's talk about national security.
I talk about it.
Okay. Now, is there any law that is you're planning to bring to protect the agreement? Not protect, to like strengthen the security of our nation?
Where we are going is this. Very soon there's going to be a security summit organized by the 10th Senate, whereby all the critical stakeholders will come there and contribute. We open it up to both young and old, men and women, everyone. It's not going to be a talk show. It's going to be a serious, in-depth talk among ourselves, including the security agencies and agents. So we aggregate and then see where and what Nigerians want us to do more with what we have done and what we are still doing. And secondly, not talking about state policy, it came up in almost all the regions where we went to for this interface with the constituents on the proposed amendment to the constitution. So that's state policing, and then that one will be considered. That's there. Then another thing is that which is very pertinent and which is very generic is that in the budget, the National Assembly has already done a lot, done an appropriation to make sure that some which is very and some went to the security so as to make sure that they do not lack the necessary basic military infrastructure that can assist in protecting Nigeria and Nigerians. And I don't think the military has ever come up and said that the National Assembly has not appropriated enough for them. And like I usually say, some people will ask, are you monitoring? Yes, we do monitor. The only way we can monitor is to ask questions if there's any breach, if there's any disobedience. We can now call the security, the leadership of the security agencies to question, which we always do. Especially this year alone, we have called them to question almost 7 times. Last year we did the same. And then we will find out that in some weeks back, the speed of kidnapping had already slowed down. But don't let us say we have reached the end already on that one. We are still working on it too, and the security agencies in Nigeria, especially the military, we want to commend them for what they are doing. So, and we are talking to them again to do more and make sure that we stamp this out. There's no country in the whole world where it is free from criminals or crime. Yes, there will be, but the ability and capacity of the country to curtail and make sure that anybody that commits such crime are apprehended timelessly. That is where we are now working on with the security agencies. And again, like I said, while doing our oversight functions on the security agencies and agents, we will not go to Sunrisevisualsnews foreign with them. We will not be counting how many bullets they have expended or how many helmets did they lose in the war. But the only thing we want to know is that are we on the path of winning the war against insurgency, against the Haram, against the kidnappers, against the bandits, and against the terrorists generally. The answer that I can give now is that we are fairly better than it Before it used to be everyday kidnapping. And now, 1 week, 2 weeks, we have been all in Nigeria now that we will not talk about kidnapping, save for the sporadic attacks that were happening recently in Benue and Plateau. And I think the president was there, and since the president came back from there, we had 2 or 3 states. But since then, the sub-national leaders, like the governors, they are now taking charge. Because you just read it, maybe 1 or 2 days ago, in Benue, they have already put up a kind of paramilitary outfit that is going to assist the military in their own duty of apprehending or nipping in the bud all these kind of security breaches. So we think the journey of 1,000 miles will start with a step, but we have taken many steps. So it's no more with 1 step. So by the time we conclude the security summit that the Senate is organizing, so we have more suggestions from engineers, because every security breach and then in order to apprehend it is very local. So let me suggest more to us.
Now, talking about state police, whatever has advantage has disadvantage. Yes. How do you prevent the state government from taking advantage of this, especially during elections?
Let me tell you something. If there are state policemen, and let's say like my town in Lawekiti, Lawedigis are the policemen in the Lawekiti, can they be used against their families? People know them. People can point fingers at their families, so it makes it very easier for the public to even take responsibility over their supervision. But now, if a policeman or 3 or 4 or 10 policemen come from Katsina and they are in my hometown in Ilawe, and then somebody is using them, they will not be traceable. But if they are local policemen in local areas and they have to police their own family members, will they be used against their family members? So, because not all family members belong to one political party, so will they be used? So if that person allows himself to be used against his own family member, then who beside that person? So that is one of the advantages of the state police, because state police means local policemen for the local area. So it's like today we have all these local these local small security places that people put together like Amotekun. So the Amotekun people, how many times have they been used to abuse the public where they are using them? So in some other states where we have that kind of local security outfits, how many times were they used? Because they are people that are known. They are people that we know their families. They are people that if they come very near you, you can point fingers to. They are people that you can go to their parents and go and report them. So that's why it is very difficult for Amotekun brigade to do anything against the local where they are operating in the southwest. But when you have the policeman whose father, whose mother, whose ancestors you don't know, and they are in place, they can be used. So, and I don't think any governor will like to use the security agencies in order to destabilize his or her own government. I don't think anybody reasonable can do that one. But as it is today, is it not the same governors that are even buying vehicles and even guns and bullets for the policemen that they are in the states? Are they not? So can they influence them to negatively? Can they? Have policemen anywhere before that people have been accusing them this and that? And were they from the states where they are operating?
Now, finally, sir,
Okay.
people call you POS, which stands for Point of Solution. That's quite me. So now, sir, what can you tell us what you've done for your people so far?
About me?
And what you plan to do?
About me?
Yes, sir.
Number one is that I would have told you to visit my constituency and ask what I have done that that make people to call me either POS or ATM. The thing is that when you have an ATM machine, if you have your card and you have your PIN number and there is network, when you insert, something will come out. Meaning that whenever you come to me, you will not come and just go away like that without anything or with empty hands. That's my own nature. But politically, and then as the representative of the people, I don't just put it in mind that my own is just to come to Abuja to make laws. I always like to give back to my community and to my people, and that's why there's no month I will not visit home twice, and I'm always at home in my village, in my town. It's not a village, my town. That I will visit my town, I'll be there, and I will sleep there. I don't go to any other town, either state capital to go and sleep. I stay where I am born. And then people will always come and I will listen to them. Because it's by their benevolence and the grace of God that I am in Abuja. And I, I think I should give back so much to them. And the first thing I can give back to them is attention. I have to be accessible to them. I have to take their problems as my own problems, apart from physical contribution that I've done. In my 2 years as a senator, there's no local government out of my 6 local governments and major towns that I've not touched. Either building of clinics, either palace construction, either hall the construction, either potable water, industrial boreholes, street lights. So I've done so much. Either in the transformers for electricity supply, bringing them in, installing them, and making them to work. And some communities where they have not gotten light for the past 9 years, so I've lit them up. So then palaces, like I said, then even some are other construction that I'm still going on with, like market stores, modern market stores, not the ramshackle market stores. Then pavilion in palaces like that of Kere Oguga Palace. So much like that I've done, and then besides that, I've assisted so many young ones to get employment, especially federal employment. I've solicited for them. By now, in my reckoning, I've assisted 47 of my constituents who are graduates, apart from the ones in the Federal College of Education, which I've done. 11 of them are there. So as several, I've assisted to be in the police, I've assisted to be in the fire service, I've assisted to be in all those areas, Navy and the Air Force. So I've done all those things. And like I said, like you rightly posited as a POS, I make sure that God has been very kind to me that the POS has never run dry. It has never run dry and it will not run dry because I give back to the people, and then because like I always tell them, they send me to Abuja. So whatever comes to me in Abuja, even as my allowances or salary, we own we own everything together. So we own everything together, and then I make sure that I advocate for them always and every time and every day. And I don't play politics with them. So it doesn't matter whichever party you are. So once you are from my constituency, it is South Sectorial District, I will listen to you. And I listen to everybody and everyone.
Thank you very much. Distinguished for your time.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Ah,
Hello.
you see,